and a pleasant good evening to you and yours, and welcome back here tonight to the Brevard Sports Network in the beautiful downtown Melbourne studios. I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski, and tonight we continue with our spring football recaps, and tonight we're going to continue. Our first head coach up tonight is yet another game that you were able to see here on the network Friday night. Jackson Robb and Caleb Brown had the call for this one as the Space Coast Vipers began the second Jake Owens era with a huge 28-0 win over Father Lopez. And here to talk about that game, the program, and whatever this stuff he's got going on in his background is the head coach of the Space Coast Vipers, Coach Jake Owens. Coach, welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. We'll talk about all that stuff in the background in a little bit, but listen, congratulations on a great win on Friday night. You know, I what impressed me the most was, you know, I've kept my eye on several teams this spring, and obviously there are programs that need to go out there and win games just to kind of reestablish themselves, and I thought yours was one of them, and I thought that was a fine job. Talk a little bit about that and what that win meant.
It was huge. It was huge. I think not only for our program, but for our community and for our kids and everyone else that's involved with the Viper program. The kids played outstanding. I mean, anytime you can go out in high school football and put up a goose egg, it's a good night. The defense played lights out. Had 4 turnovers on defense. Should have had 6. We dropped a couple picks. You can see this play right here. Alex Benichowski makes a great play downfield, and Zion Sandy are going to be freshman starting quarterback on varsity. Had an incredible night as well. He went 9 of 10 for 10 of 11 for about 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. Here's another ball here to Caden Thomas. Going to be sophomore, who is he had 5 catches for about 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So yeah, it was a great night. You know, again, anytime you can go out and start. I love this play here. Sorry, this play here in the red zone. That is our other quarterback there, Christian Burt, just an incredible athlete. Our starting Mike linebacker, playing H-back and taking the carry in for a touchdown. So, yeah, man, anytime you can go out and win a home game like that to start off the season, it's big time. And obviously, especially for us with this refreshing of the program, it was a nice way to get it started. The spring has been very successful. We had about 68 kids out for spring, which is outstanding. And, you know, not only with our game Friday night, our varsity game on Friday night, but the Friday before we had our purple silver inter squad scrimmage where our young guys got a chance to showcase what the time and the work they put in over the spring. And that went great too. Again, a lot of guys out there making plays on both sides of the ball. So anytime you have that, it's a win-win. But Friday night was a great night, and you know, that's obviously like I told the guys, you know, we celebrated that night, and it's time to move on and get ready for the regular season and get back in the laboratory and in the weight room and start preparing. It's 8 weeks away. You know, our first game is the 16th. Ours actually counts, unlike most of the other teams in this county. So we don't have a lot of time to be messing around. We got to get back in the weight room and get back to work. But it was an exciting night for me, Alan. I'll be honest with you. Walking back onto that field on a Friday night, it was like being at home. You know,
Yeah.
it was just an incredible feeling, and it was an incredible crowd. And you know, I miss this community so much. I'm so glad and so honored to be back leading this program for this community and the school and Mr. Flora, our incredible principal, and Mr. Slintz, our awesome athletic director, and the faculty and the rest of the administration and support staff. And everyone else that's involved with the Vipers football program, but especially this Port St. John community, which has really done a lot for me in my career. Been very supportive throughout, and it's like being back at home, man. It was a great night and a great feeling.
Coach, I don't think people realize or understand, and I certainly don't mean any disrespect when I say this because I mean this from the bottom of my heart. People do not understand how passionate the Port St. John football community is. And, a lot of people, that don't really know football in this county may just think of Port St. John as, a place where you live between Cocoa and somewhere else, in terms of football. But that's not the case at all. This is a community, Coach, that has truly been starving for high school football, like your team gave them on Friday night, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Obviously with my tenure before, we had some incredible teams. Alan, we were one of the top teams in this county for quite a few years, and when we were rolling, man, those crowds were packed. We had people out in the street shooting off fireworks, and it was a party every Friday night. And that's what we're going to get back to, is bringing that party back to the Port St. John community. Alan, there is a lot of talent in this community, and it's such a great community. I love it. It just reminds me of one of those communities that just kind of rallies around its football program. And yeah, like I told the guys when I got hired, I really don't care what's happened the last 6 years since I've been gone. That time is in the past, and now we're moving forward, and we are restoring the strike and bringing back the glory days of Vipers football. Alan, we had, like I said, man, you remember we had some incredible teams, some just great players that have come through this school, and this team that we have right now, Alan, I'm going to tell you right now, it's one of the most talented, and it's very exciting. I'm very excited about the fall. I'm just busting, waiting to get, to July 29th so we can get started, because this team is going to be a special one, Alan. It's going to go down as one of those special teams in Vipers history, and it's going to put this program back on the map.
Coach, your that first stint you had there, you had that great 8-4 season. You've done it there, and now you get an opportunity to do it with talent from 8th and the 9th grade level. We saw that on display Friday night. It's hard to imagine. I don't know if it was the quarterback, or I think it was the quarterback. He threw that football as an 8th grader, did he not, Friday night?
Listen, he is going to be special, and I think at one point, Alan, we had again. I'm talking about grade as far as spring game goes. At one point, we had 6 freshmen and 3 8th graders on the field.
Wow.
Those are kids that are going to be freshmen and sophomores next year. We are going to be good for a very long time. And again, like I said, man, this, not only do we have an incredible senior class, I absolutely love this senior class. So many leaders, so many talented players. But Alan, the next 5 or 6 years, we got some incredible talent coming through here. And a lot of those guys are going to be showcased on Friday nights. And it's very exciting. And I cannot wait for those guys to get their time, and, for them to get the opportunity to showcase their abilities. And I'm very excited for this program and the future of it.
Coach, let me ask you this. Obviously, not just Brevard County, Coach, but the state of Florida, right? I mean, with the transfers, one of the issues that's happened to Space Coast is being able to keep the players. The excitement that you generate, the way that you handle social media. Even at Palm Bay, Coach, when you were at Palm Bay, you kind of brought the program forward in terms of social media, the uniforms, and just a different, you kept the traditions of the program, but you kind of brought it into the future a little bit with that stuff. How much does all of that play into your plan to make sure these kids stay home?
Well, Alan, I've been very fortunate. I've not really ever had to worry about kids leaving. I've always made my program a welcoming program, a program that players want to be. I've always surrounded myself with great coaching staffs. I've been very fortunate to have incredible guys around me supporting and coaching and mentoring these young men. And this coaching staff I have this year is just absolutely incredible, Alan. I'm so excited about the guys that I have back, guys that coached with me before.
Who are they?
Rennell Sandy is back. He's our co-defensive coordinator. Derek Spivey is back. He's our defensive line coach. Two guys, again, that have gone to battle with me for years and years, and were here to help me build this program into the powerhouse that it was for that time period. And they know what it takes here to win, just like I do. Then I've brought on a couple guys that played for me at Space Coast that were part of those incredible, successful programs. Both guys, Darius Spivey and Liam Hinsman, both had opportunities to go play college football. So they've seen the whole outlook and the outcome of what it can be to be a successful Vipers football player. So, but I don't really worry about the transfer thing. Like I said, our program is like a family. We build it like a family. We get kids to college. I mean, we were averaging 6 or 7 kids a year going to play college football. So, and obviously too, being successful and winning is a big part of that. So I don't really worry about all that stuff. I'm very confident in the way that we run our program, and it's a genuine program. I think, I love these kids like they were my own, and every single one of them, they're all treated the same. I don't play favorites. I'm fair, but I'm strict. And, the majority of these kids that I've coached my entire career for 24 years, I still talk to all the time. I consider them family, and I'll always be there for them. So I don't, like I said, man, I really don't worry about that. I just don't.
No, you really didn't at Palm Bay. That was for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I just, like I said, I'm a very real person and very genuine, and I keep my word, and I think those are all parts of how you have to run a program in today's world. And I'm out there working for these kids in the off season, trying to get them the opportunities to go play college football. And this is a 12-month job being a head football coach at the high school level. This is not a part-time job. It's not something you can do for 5 or 6 months. It is a 12-month job, and you have to work sometimes around the clock for these players. But that's why I do it, because I love these players, and I love watching them be successful on the field and in the classroom and beyond in their lives as men and husbands and fathers. So I'm just very, very excited to be back.
Bell Creek Academy on the 16th as Space Coast opens up. I want to talk to you because you and I have had some conversations about the SSA and what it means to be able to play there, as we see more and more and more teams in all sports, Coach, from across the state joining the SSA, whether it's because they have issues with the FHSAA or whether it's whatever reasons, we are seeing more and more programs join the SSA. Tell me about what you like about what the SSA offers.
Absolutely. Obviously, our schedule was made before I got the job.
Right.
It's a good schedule. It's a a schedule that sets us up for success. I really didn't know much about the SSAA. Obviously, I was gone. I took the head coaching job up in Northern Kentucky, so I was gone last year during that time frame when it started. But after I took the job, I researched and looked into it and talked to a lot of people, and it's on the rise. I'm going to tell you, the SSAA it's on the rise because they're doing a lot of things the right way, and it's exciting, to be honest. We have an opportunity, Alan, to win a legit state championship this year, and that's exciting. The SSAA this year, in their second year, they're implementing a playoff system just like the FHSAA, and they are doing a one-time state championship game, just like you would if you were playing in other districts. So the opportunity for my players to get the chance to play for a legitimate state championship and win a ring is, I mean, how could I not be excited about that?
Right.
And I do think that the FHSAA, I don't want to say they, that they're in trouble right now, but the SSAA keeps doing things the right way. I think you're going to see a lot of teams starting to jump ship to the SSAA, and it's going to be very interesting to see because they are definitely moving and trending in the right direction. And again, who doesn't want the opportunity to realistically win a legitimate state championship? And that's what we have this year. And I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited for our kids to get that opportunity.
I definitely know that they next year, if it wasn't this past year, and I'll have to double check this, but I definitely know that the state of Florida now recognizes them as legitimate board governing athletic association type in the state of Florida. And I think listen, competition is a good thing for anybody, and that includes the FHSAA and the SSAA. I think it's a good thing to have. And, a lot of people began to talk about things like this during COVID when they weren't happy with how the FHSAA was handling that issue. But now you're starting to see teams in some of the city areas, the Browards over in Polk County, up in Duval, some of those schools starting to, I've talked to some coaches that have looked at the SSAA, and yep. Coach, you're right. They like what they see. Coach, let me ask you this. What is your, obviously you get after it starting August the 16th. So what is your schedule for the summer? What will your program be doing this summer?
Well, you know me, Alan. I'm 100 miles an hour, so I'm excited. We start our off-season lifting program Monday. We go 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 11:30, and I'm very big when it comes to 7-on-7. Obviously, we throw the ball a lot, Alan. You know that.
Not you.
Yeah, our June is action packed. We're taking the players to UCF for the day to compete in their 7-on-7 tournament, and taking our O-line, D-line guys to their padded camp, which obviously, again, like I said, man, just trying to get our players out and get their exposure that they deserve. So we're excited about UCF. Down the road, we're playing once again. I did this when I was at Palm Bay, but we've been invited to play in the FHSAA 7-on-7 state championship tournament.
There you go.
With the Battle Lines O-line, D-line state championship tournament as well. If you'll remember, we won that. We won that at Palm Bay. So, yeah. We're going back. I'm taking the Vipers to Ocala for a couple days. It's going to be a stay a night, and we're gonna do some team bonding and go out there and compete against the best teams in the state in the 7-on-7 state championship. And our O-line, D-lines guys are gonna be able to compete against some of the best O-line, D-line guys in the state in the Battle Line state championship. So we're very excited about that. Again, getting our kids as much exposure as we can. And then we have some other 7-on-7 tournaments as well that we'll be doing. Again, man, just going out, lifting, working hard, and competing. That's what it's all about, is to get as much work in as we can this summer.
You know, Coach, let me say this about you. There are a handful of coaches in the community in every sport that ensure that their student athletes are covered. You know, obviously media outlets like ours, you know, we aren't big enough to cover them all, but we're growing big enough to make sure we touch them all, so to speak. And I can always say this: no matter where you are or what you're doing, no matter what time of the year it is, you always make sure that your kids have exposure. And I can tell you right now, I have the utmost respect for that, because I think that's one of the biggest issues that you hear parents and student athletes complain about when they do these transfers is, my coach doesn't do this or my coach doesn't do this. And a lot of times, while it isn't the coach's responsibility, so to speak, you know, a lot of times student athletes have to learn how to, you know, finagle and work and handle social media themselves, because that's the world we live in now. But I can honestly say, Coach, you do a terrific job of making sure your student athletes get the exposure they deserve. So I always appreciate that about you.
Well, I appreciate that. That's my job, Alan. That's my
Yeah.
job. I mean, again, like I said, I mean, you know, this job is 12 months a year, and it's you know, a lot of that is working on getting these players the opportunity to go to the next level and play college football. Signing day is one of my favorite days of the year, because it's so rewarding for the player, for the program, for the community, watching these guys go on to the next level and be successful. But I appreciate the kind words, but you know, that's my job, and that's part of the job that I love. I love grinding and getting these kids those opportunities. So and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You know, is not only winning, that's a big part of it, obviously, and being successful and running a good quality program with a good culture and all those things that you want. And part of that is making sure that these kids are getting that opportunity.
You know, when I was working with Steve Slintz with the graduation, I thought, man, you know, Coach Owens and Coach Slintz, man, they're going to be two. You know, that's a perfect combination to work together, because, you know, to promote the program the way that you guys want to. I think it's a great thing. And look, that's a great environment up there, man. That is a really cool thing. The Viper Pit, you know, I mean, there's so many things. It's awesome.
And you know, and not only that, but I want to say this first. You know, from the moment I got there, it was nothing but support. It was, you know, from Mr. Flora to the faculty, obviously welcoming me back. Mr. Flora really didn't know me personally; he just had heard of me. But from the moment I got there, he absolutely supported me and you know, had my back for whatever I needed. And same with Mr. Slentz, and again the rest of the admin and the faculty. And then when I got the job, when I took this job to be the head football coach again, Alan, there was so much support from the community, from the boosters. We have an incredible booster club. Marjorie Gavin and Stephanie Starkey and Angie Chrisman, there's no way I cannot give them a shout out. They have been nothing but supportive from the moment I got here. And not only that, but when I took the job, I kept a couple coaches from the previous staff, Kyle Davis, Ryan Starkey, guys that are outstanding coaches that didn't really get the opportunity to shine, and now they're getting that opportunity, and they have been supportive. I mean, it's just been incredible. Like you said, it's such an incredible community that it's kind of tucked away, but we're going to put it back on the map, Alan. We're going to put it back this year, right away. We have a new stadium, a brand new stadium. We have a brand new track, and the field is beautiful. You saw the on Friday night. We just signed a deal with Turf Tank to do our fields, and on Friday nights are going to be absolutely incredible. It's the same company that does NFL and college teams, and we're going to have the end zones painted and the logos on the field, and it's just going to be an outstanding environment for people to come out and watch high school football. And not to mention, Alan, we're going to be really good.
And and
So
and, and
it's not even,
coach, the two best freaking colors in football:
oh, God.
purple, and black. Not whatever that is behind you.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. No, I'm in my as you know I do a Bengals a Cincinnati Bengals podcast, which
Yeah.
we just hit our 2 year anniversary. It's been awesome.
Congratulations, coach.
Thank you, thank you. So it's been awesome, but the guy that I do it with, Mon Abelhassan, is a great friend of mine, and you know, we started this thing a couple years ago, and it's really taken off. We just do it for
It's
fun.
a
It's a
great
lot of
show.
fun,
I love it. That's a good show.
but we appreciate that. We
Yeah.
appreciate that.
But
Yeah,
you,
I don't. Yeah, you saw on Friday night. We're gonna be our home uniforms are gonna be all black. I got to get you a new helmet, by the way.
yeah, that's
Uh,
that. All right.
our helmets are, our
I,
helmets are black now, so
I'll never forget the first time I met you. I was interviewing you after a game. I shook your hand. I looked down. I said, "I love your shoes, coach. I'm a huge Raven fan." I said, "I'm a huge Raven fan." You looked at me. You go, "Yeah, well, I'm not. I like the Bengals." And I went, "Oh, this is off to a great start." Coach, as we wrap up here, and I certainly appreciate your time here tonight. And following this, following Coach Owens' interview, we're going to play Jackson's interview with Coach from the end of the game Friday night, which will include highlights and all of that as well. But Coach, as we wrap up here, what do you want, not just the people in your community to know about this program and what you plan to accomplish, but about this, what do you want everybody to know about the Space Coast Vipers football program?
that we have great kids.
Yeah.
We have great, talented kids. We have very resilient players. These young men have great character. Guys like Chris Veers, who I'm so excited for, that he is going to get the opportunity to experience all of the successes that we're going to have this year, and the rest of this senior class. Damian Bowder, he's one of the best players in this county that everybody is about to find out who he is. You know, guys like other seniors like Chris McDonald, again, a guy who is going to be one of those sleeper players this year, and the great upcoming juniors, Seth Chrisman and Alex Banichowski, who you saw on film there making that big play. The great upcoming sophomores like Caden Thomas, like Bryson Gavin and EJ Klauser, and just all these great players that we have that are about to make a name for themselves. Obviously, Christian Burt and Zion Sandy, these young guys that we have coming up. We have great players, and we have a great program. Again, it's one that is very genuine, and it's surrounded in a very family atmosphere, and you know, there's a lot of tough love, but there is a lot of love, and there's a lot of appreciation, and you know, we just have a great thing going, and I'm excited, like I said, for the future, and I'm excited again to remind everybody what this program was and what it can be. And everybody's going to find out very quickly, starting August 16th, Alan, just how good this program was and how good it's going to be.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. We certainly appreciate it. Good luck, and you know you can count on us.
Alan, I just want to say, man, I'm excited to be back in Florida. I'm excited to be back working with you. You do such an incredible job for this community, man. I don't think you get enough appreciation.
Thank you.
But we appreciate everything you do for these kids. No matter what sport it is, no matter what school it is, you are 100% genuinely loving this community and the sports. And man, you're the best. I appreciate everything you do, bud.
Thanks, Coach. Definitely appreciate those words. Have a great night.
You too. You
All
too.
right. All right. Yes, sir. And now we're going to go ahead and play Coach Owens' interview from the other day with Jackson Robb. So here that is. Oh, no, I'm going to have to end it and then go back and play it. So I want to thank Coach Jake Owens. And then coming up at 8 o'clock will be Chris Sands from the O'Galley Commodores. For Jake Owens, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski. Have a great night, everybody.